This was a game for about 2 weeks ago. Playing on my StuG 3 tank destroyer.
Time to roll out.
Not a lot happens at the start of this match. Everyone's getting in position. This is I think it's called Assault. Yes, it's called Assault. We're tasked with having to defend our cap zone while the enemy have to take it. So essentially it's just attack and defend. We defend, they attack. So our team, there's one heavy on each side. We've got a Churchill one, we've got a T1 heavy. Then there's some nice mediums on both sides. We've got a couple of decent tank destroyers. Speaking of mediums, there's one now. Type T-34.
Penetration.
I take his track off. And he's
Enemy
dead.
armor is destroyed.
There was also another guy who died in there as well, SU-85B, so they tried to charge in and got swamped pretty quickly. So I set up shop here next to this T25 premium medium tank. They're actually a nice medium. I've been thinking about getting one myself. Got this nice little hull down position behind this fence here that I was actually looking at the time when I was in the game. So T80 just gets behind the mountain before I can really do much about him. I'm just looking around because at the moment I'm worried about people going to, you can see where that T49 was. I'm just worried about people going there and shooting into the side of my tank and taking me out nice and quick. So someone's spamming the top right of the map around B0, around there, because the enemy have a pretty big, well, the main part of their assault is coming through there. So at this stage I'm a little concerned because on that side we've got an ELC and they've got an ELC, and thank goodness that battle goes the way that it does, because I couldn't really take an ELC AMX on in this particular thing. I just don't have the traverse speed. I think they rammed each other and their ELC lost his tracks. So our ELC wins. We've still got a VK20 there, we've got an Electo and a Type T-34, and that's all we've got on that side. We've got a Panzer III-4 coming over to help me as well. So pretty much I'm coming to this right side of the map to try and bolster it, because I know there's a T28, there's a T1 heavy, I think they've got one or two of their, or one tank destroyer there, not sure what else they've got there. Actually I know they have a Panzer of some sort there, is it? Panzer III-4 and the T28 as well.
Enemy is hit. Gotcha.
So there's another one.
Penetration.
I start getting really nice penetrations on this T1 heavy. And as I found out later, that blind shot I took there, well not there, but at that T1, it actually hit and did penetrate. So I'm looking to my left, because I'm worried because the Panzer III-4 that was next to me just got smashed. So I figure there's stuff coming from the left. And I'll see it in a second. There's a M5 Stewart I can see on the map. So I start to turn around, I figure he's got to go on the low side of me. But he doesn't.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Take out the T25 in a moment and
Penetration.
start up on this M5 Stewart.
Enemy armor
I get a bit of a lucky shot there. That was
tracks is damaged.
a clutch shot, but I had to take it then. I almost over-aimed it. Or overturned my tank. Anyway, so I don't want to go too far out to the right there. I want to have this hill to my left as my cover from the incoming fire. So I'm just looking around, because I know the T1 Heavy's around here, and they've got something else. There it is. The Panzer III-4 is still there. And I'm just sort of doing a bit of a hull down.
Enemy is hit.
He bounces a shot because of the angle that I'm at, which is lucky.
armor is hit.
And he gets a good shot into me.
The radio is hit. We can't raise anyone outside this area.
You see me just
Enemy
slamming
armor
this
is
T1,
damaged.
just using the edge of the hill.
They dinged us.
And that one bounced. And I can see the commander's hatch of the Panzer
Enemy armor
3-4.
is hit.
Now stupidly, this T1, he turns
They're knocked
to shoot
out.
at the other enemy tank. He could have just turned it, he could have just kept going and shot
Enemy
me.
armor is damaged.
Instead, I end up shooting him and
Enemy
killing him.
armor is destroyed.
So I'm taking out this Panzer 3-4, then I've noticed they've got a Type T-34 here. And we're both on low HP now, we're really low.
Got
I
him.
take him out. So that is 7 kills that I've just picked up on that side. Well, granted, I got one on the left side, but majority of their team just all died. So now I can see on the left side of the map where Artie is. They've spotted an Su-85. It's coming over to kill them. He takes one of them out. So I'm going to head back over to where this S-35CA is sitting. Now at the time I assumed this 35 was just waiting for this Su-85 to appear. But then I realise, and you'll see in a moment, I realise he's AFK. So I figure, I know what I'll do, I'll just use him as bait, because the Su-85's got to come along the bottom of the map, he's got to see the S-35 and just start shooting into the side of him. And that's when I'll start shooting at the Su-85. Because I don't have the gun depression to be able to look over the edge here, so that's not a good camping spot. So I go to get some cover in the town. And I wait for the Su-85, who now appears. He hasn't spotted me yet. I actually missed one. That's the first miss I've had all game.
Penetration.
And take his tracks off, and he can't get the angle on me.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
And I take him out, and their Artie almost takes me out, so they did spot me in the end, but it was too late. So now there's only 4 tanks on our side alive, but we still have our Churchill, which hasn't really been able to get around very easily. A bit slow and taking his time to get anywhere. Still got our T-25 as well. We've got me on 19 HP. I've got a Type T-34 who's just attacking their Artie. You'll see how that works out in a second. He's dead. So, pretty much the rest of the game, not a lot happens. I'll switch it to 4 times speed. So I tell the T-25 to go through and come around behind, because whenever you approach Artie, they always got to try and just wait those few seconds just to get an aimed shot into you, because they do a lot of damage. So they get a direct hit, they can kill you. And given I'm on 19 HP, I don't really want to take a shot. So I'm looking around for the Artie. We're running out of time, as you can see. There's 20 odd seconds left. Can't find the Artie, and I don't know actually where they went, but... And that's that. So that was 8 kills in the StuG, 2208 damage, and I think I missed 1 shot, and another ricochet, and the rest were all penetration, so not a bad carry, that one.